residential tech talk, lighting specialist, residential tech
All right, we are back on the Residential Tech Talks podcast and diving into a conversation with a man I'm familiar with. We've done a couple of these in my past of podcasting. So, Mr. Jason McGraw, Group Vice President there at Emerald Expositions. Appreciate you jumping in for another conversation. I haven't scared you off at all these stops that I've been on. So, appreciate you taking the time and wanting to do it again.
Thanks, Rob. I'm glad to be here with you and happy to spend a little time to chat about the upcoming show.
Yeah, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about. But just a few weeks out, I want to start asking how you are. How are things?
Hey, we're working towards another great show. Denver is a fantastic city to host the event, and we're back in Denver again this year, downtown at the Colorado Convention Center. You can see the
bears
big blue
behind
bear
you.
behind me there. Most nearly all the large brands, working on their plans for the show and their booths, and we've added some more commercial companies in the CIX side of the show. We've got more lighting brands this year. We've had a few more security companies. Got a lot of sound rooms, a lot of demo rooms down in the meeting room level
Yep.
of the convention center. So, plans are underway. It's just this time of the year is super busy. It's summertime. People are taking vacations, but
Yep.
we're working hard to make all the plans come together for the show, and people are registering every day and booking hotel rooms. So, yeah, we're on track and looking forward to another great show this year.
Awesome. I look forward to diving into some of those specifics with you. I want to look back a little bit though, if you don't mind. I know,
Sure.
we talked about it a couple, I feel like probably the last time we podcasted, just about 4 or 5 years ago was a very different time for trade shows. I know kind of where we are now. What do you see of this space? Like, what things have rebounded? There weren't trade shows for a minute, but we've come out of that, and as we head into Denver and CEDIA Expo 2025, is it fully rebounded, or are we past where we are? Like, what's sort of your take on the current state of whether related to CEDIA Expo, but just trade shows in general, man? Because the space went through it for a minute, and sort of, it's neat to see it come back and the excitement around shows, but I want to get your take on sort of where we sit today.
Yeah, I mean, it varies by events. Emerald produces a lot of different trade shows in a lot of different sectors. Some have bounced back and are higher than pre-pandemic levels. Others have not fared very well, to be candid, and others have done really well. And I think the CEDIA Expo, we've done really well. We had as you may recall, a very unfortunate show in 21, trying to kind of a half-hearted restart with the COVID Delta variant, and that was a really tough show in Indianapolis. But then, really bounced back in Dallas in 22, and now we've been in Denver for 3 years, and we got one more year next year in 26 in Denver, and then we're going to look to rotate the show around to other cities again starting in 27. But I think we've done really well. I think the main thing that's been a challenge for the show has just been industry consolidation. There's been a lot of M&A activity, and we've seen a lot of brands, like ADI and Snap One over this past year as an example. But going back, 8 or 10 years, time, it's been a drumbeat that's been going on in the industry. So, where we used to have a lot more larger booths from a variety of brands. A lot of them now have been consolidated. But at the same time, we're reaching out and getting new customers in the show, new exhibitors. And the industry has changed. It's still at its core. We're talking about audio and video, control, home theater on the residential side. But, we've been adding in commercial product manufacturers. There's always been manufacturers at the show that show commercial and residential. But we've also seen the expansion of, low voltage lighting, architectural lighting, security products. You're seeing AI related products and voice control, a lot of different technologies that are coming onto the scene, outdoor, landscape lighting and sound and video. So the technology's been evolving. So we're trying to keep pace with that and adding in. So the mix of exhibitors at the show has been evolving over the years, but I feel really good about how we've come out from the pandemic, where there, like you mentioned, there were no shows.
Yep.
And I think things have changed in the industry as well. So the brands that are at the show are serious. They're really focused on business. They're channel partners, and maybe there's more emphasis on, hey, the business climate's evolving.
Mhm.
How are we partnering with you? If I'm speaking as a manufacturer here,
Yep.
with integrators, with distributors and reps, and this is the time. And it's also been a challenging economic climate in the background, with tariffs and the economy and so forth. So, some segments of the country have been really great. Others have been challenged rather, speaking of the housing
Mhm.
market. But, remodeling and home equity still funds a lot of projects. And then, of course, the luxury market, they
Mhm.
always have money. So there's always business there. So it's a mixed bag, right? But I think generally, people are keen to have the latest technology. They have integrated solutions and systems. They want everything, to be controlled by their app, and they want everything to talk together, their car, their house, their device. And there's a lot of trends. People are installing lighting and shading systems for wellness purposes. They they've always been whole home distributed audio systems, etc. But that they take your content anywhere with you, connect it to your display, move it from room to room. Have multifunction areas, where even today, we're having a Zoom call, but I
Yep.
could do that in my home office, or I can take it out in my study or in my family room. My kids we're learning at home now. They're back in school. They're still distance learning. There's entertainment, there's gaming, there's so many different
Yeah.
applications for technology in the home these days, and it all needs to be integrated. So I think it's still a great environment for the systems integration industry, both in residential and commercial. And the lion's share of people obviously coming to CEDIA Expo are in the residential
Mhm.
market, but more than half of those integrators also do commercial work. So, we're evolving the show that way. So,
Yeah.
uh, kind of long-winded there, but going around, we're growing back. We're not quite back to where we were pre-pandemic, but like I said, there's a lot of reasons for that. And but the mix of companies is evolving. We're getting a lot of new exhibitors, as I said,
Mhm.
and we're excited about the future
Yeah.
because that this show is a reflection of the marketplace and the growth of the marketplace with new technologies every year coming to the show.
Yeah.
So it really is the gathering point for the industry annually, and we're going to keep evolving and growing, and we're upbeat about that. So I think attendees coming to the show this year are going to be equally pleased as in past years with the dynamic manufacturers with great products, great networking, great education.
Yeah, and I know too. You mentioned evolution of the show. This has always been an experiential show, right? In terms of sound rooms and things like that. But I feel like that too, whether it's from an in booth experience to the expansion of the kind of those demo rooms, the space in this show has evolved in that regard too, with more of a focus, more of an emphasis on creating that. You got to be there because you don't want to miss this, whether it's collaboration between a couple brands to get together and do something, or just the evolution of what the experience room is like at the show. So that too, I know, is something that these brands and the space and you guys as well have really put an emphasis on to make it a can't miss event for integrators to see how all these different technologies come together. And you mentioned it. There's so many different new areas of potential business for an integrator to get involved with. That what better way to experience it all, learn about it all, see it all than being at a show like CEDIA Expo.
Well, definitely. The number one reason folks come to shows is to see new
Mhm.
products. And, there's a lot of serendipity there. You see brands that are starting to collaborate with other brands. You're seeing interesting applications of technology. You're seeing new products that are, kind of taking things to the next level. So there's that can't miss
Mhm.
opportunity there. But then the education side, you're
Yep.
like, hey, do I know everything that's going on with AV transport protocols and, everything's sitting on a network, and are my
Mhm.
installers up to speed on what's going on? So the education part and the manufacturer training is a big part of the show as well. CEDIA this year has 100 new sessions, variety of topics, lighting, light commercial, audio, you name it. There's 8K Association is going to be running free sessions on the show floor talking about the ecosystem in 8K from, content to display to transport. That's the next generation of image quality that we're all going to see and love. And I'm looking forward to the prices to come down a little bit because a little bit out of my price range
Eventually,
for
they'll
8K
get
display, but
there.
it's getting
Yeah.
there, and I think that's the other part is technology keeps evolving so rapidly
Yep.
year on year. It's like, ooh, I need to see kind of what's coming out, what's going to be on the horizon, and that's a big part of the show. The other thing, we try to get new. I keep talking about new exhibitors,
Yeah.
but some of the companies are brand new to the marketplace, right?
Mhm.
They're introducing new technologies, new innovations. They're coming out of being a startup, if you will, and kind of emerging like, hey, I'm ready to show you what I have. So there's a lot of opportunity to discover
Mhm.
new brands and see. We know that dealers are, very comfortable with, core brands that they work with, and they, have great partnerships there. But they may have a new project that needs something that is not in the wheelhouse of some of the brands that they currently work with,
Yep.
or they might have some sourcing issues, so they need an additional supplier, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there's that invaluable opportunity to shop and
Mhm.
discover an experience at the show that really makes it worthwhile every year. But then the learning part, like, hey, am I knowledgeable enough that I can keep my business thriving and growing, and at the same time, do my integrators, my installer team, designers, whoever, do they have the professional knowledge, the
Mhm.
professional development? A big piece of CEDIA's mission is, workforce development now and
Yep.
skills development. And, they have certification exams on site and workshops. And so there's a lot there that, you could bring a whole team to the show and have everybody in your team come away with more knowledge and a lot about we're on this digital environment, right? There's
Yep.
digital marketplaces. You can find stuff online. You can Google just about anything to get the specs, but we're analog human beings,
Yep.
right? So you want to see things with your own eyes. You want to touch stuff. You want to shake somebody's hand. Hey, Rob, let's have a beer together
Okay.
at the
Right.
show. And that part, the networking, the connections, the experience part of being at an in-person show is what people missed
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yep.
And I think that's why, more than anything today, people are investing in experiences,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's travel, whether it's going to concerts, whether it's going to, the same applies to trade shows. Why do people want to go to a show?
Right.
Because they've spent all year doing the digital searching and connecting and sharing on social, but nothing in the digital world today replaces
Right.
being together in person, um, and seeing and touching things, firsthand. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really compelling driver for audience coming to the show and why manufacturers invest so much to be at trade shows because you can see so many people at one time in one place.
Yeah, and it's a great place to, kind of following up on that and building off of it. It you in your day to day, you see so many certain people and you're able to connect with clients and things like that, your team, but getting out sort of outside of that box, right? And a show like CEDIA Expo is a great opportunity to, bump into and rub shoulders with all the trade show cliches about the related industries. So I know you get a lot of builders and there's architects there, designers that are interested in this show. So I want to ask too, because I know we've talked about it in the past, and it may not have in immediate or even any impact at all. Some other recent Emerald news that was out there about. I know we've seen NKBA. They still have a presence at this show. Bring a little bit of a booth. I've ran into Pam McClamden. Research over at NKBA has been at that show in the past, and I know NKBA recently had its own announcement too about that we've talked about previously with the High Point Market and some of the partnerships and expansions there. So I wanted to give you a chance to maybe not specifically about that, if it even has potential legs at a show like CEDIA, but that idea of sort of those related industries that are able to come together under the Emerald banner too, right? Of partnerships and play in this space. So just the opportunities there, wanted to give you a chance to speak to.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
Rob. I'm also the show director for the
Yep.
kitchen and bath industry show that NKBA owns and Emerald's been producing for many, many years, and that's co-located with the International Builder Show National Association of Home Builders, every February. We'll be in Orlando next February and then returning to Las Vegas in 2027. Um, but yes, there's these connections, and we've been trying to be sort of like missionaries, like evangelizing the audiovisual design in connection with the smart home, and working with designers, builders, and architects, and kind of talk about that. Last February at KBIS, Daryl Friedman, the CEO of CEDIA, came out and did a conversation with Bill Darcy, the CEO of National Kitchen and Bath Association, at the KBIS show on the show floor, and looking to keep those conversations going. And we've been encouraging all the industry organizations, the buyers groups, the associations, like, you folks need to talk to each
All
other
right.
more. Like, there needs to be more sharing and connections between the different trades and the different players and stakeholders out there. Emerald has many design related events. We have Boutique Design New York, we have Hospitality Design Expo, we have International Contemporary Furniture Fair. These are all very significant shows that have designers at them. And you mentioned that NKBA is also working with High Point Market, and we're working with High Point to cross promote KBIS and with High Point, and but at the same time, we would love to see more of our CEDIA Expo exhibitors go to KBIS, and talk to designers and builders at that show, and then vice versa. We want more designers, architects, and builders to come to CEDIA Expo and see, hey, I need to understand what my customer wants, right? That they're not going to do the work. They're going to partner with a system integrator, right? So this is a huge opportunity for integrators to meet with builders and architects and designers. And many of the manufacturers of talk about being design centric with their products. They have invisible speakers in the wall, they have low aperture openings, they have products that can color match, or the plates match, with the decor, etc. And so, you know, designers and architects and builders need to understand what's available,
Hmm.
right? They don't necessarily need to understand exactly how it works. It's helpful that they know how to that it works, but they're not going to install it, right?
Right.
They're going to hire an expert. I like to tell the story of, like, I'm not an auto mechanic, right? But I understand what the parts of the car do, right? Like, oh, that I have a problem with my transmission. But
Yep.
you're going to take it to a shop with a certified technician to, work on your car and fix it. The same thing, you have a big project, you're going to reach out. And so a designer's going to partner with a system integrator that they're familiar with in their hometown that does good work. And so I encourage everybody in the trade and the channel to be making connections and networking. Many of them do. I mean,
Yeah.
this is nothing terribly new,
Yeah.
but I think now the demand, especially as the younger generation are becoming homeowners, they want technology in their homes, and there's a high expectation for, something better than just, builder grade fixed can light, park can lighting in your house. They want all the technologies in their home. They want their house wired up. They want high bandwidth. They want to be able to control everything, and they want it to become a seamless part of their living experience, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's what our industry is prepared to provide and
Yep.
is providing. And so I just think this is a great opportunity, kind of connecting these communities, continuing to exchange ideas and thoughts, and making connections. And we're going to continue to foster that across our many events, but also at CEDIA Expo and CIX. We want that. This year we have a 2-day program that's in partnership with Technology Designer Magazine and CEDIA Expo, where they have some sessions in the CEDIA program. They have some show floor tours. They have a lunch on Thursday, day discovery lunch, and then there's a lot going on that we're continuing to try and reach out to designers and builders and architects to
Yep.
come to the show. So, we encourage, if you're an integrator, if you're a manufacturer, invite them, send
Yeah.
them a guest pass and invite them to come out to the show. So, like I said, it's a long this is a long tail.
Yeah,
It's not happening overnight.
right,
It's been going on for a while.
right.
But
This is
we want people to continue to explore and expand their horizons.
yeah. These are not new conversations at all, but it's one of those. I mean, I think back to I had a 5 year stop at a buying group, and before that, those conversations were felt like they were. I don't know if they were just starting or it's just because I had just happened to get into the space at the time that they were still going on. But regardless, they've at least been going on for about 8 9 years. The fact that it's continuing to happen, it feels like again momentum building, right? That they're happening more often, and that the spaces where manufacturers are aware of it, show professionals are aware of it, the integrators are aware of it. They just need that help, right? A show like this is a great opportunity. Well, several shows like this, right? So you got CEDIA, you mentioned the other shows, KBiz, and they're great opportunities to have those conversations, and it's a real, I think, service to the channel that they've got a platform like this through Emerald to be able to go have those conversations in person at a CEDIA Expo or at KBiz and some of the other shows that you mentioned. So they integrators, audiences, whoever's listening, they've heard it before likely, but they can't hear it enough, frankly. So I appreciate you diving into it and sharing a little bit of that. But I want to wrap it up with one question. What are you most excited about? With getting there, early September in Denver at CD Expo. If you had to pick one? I know there's a lot to pick from, but if you had to pick one thing, what is it that you are most looking forward to about this show?
Um, I'm amazed every year when I come, even though, I'm like, hey, we're back in Denver. But the exhibits are different, right? The products are different. There's new exhibitors that you didn't see before. I personally always enjoy going through all the audio demo rooms, because you get some really cool, uh, integrated solutions, and you're hearing the audio, cool video. It's a great experience, and you're like, yeah, I need to upgrade my upgrade my home theater. So I look forward to that every year because it's the kind of opportunity that you don't normally have. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you can go to a showroom, you can go to a local retailer, or you can go to maybe a customer's open house or something, but not to see 10 or 20 rooms. I mean, we have
Yeah.
20 sound and audio demo rooms this year between on the floor and in the meeting rooms. Um, and so that serendipity of kind of like discovery, like, hey, what am I going to see this year that's cool?
Yeah.
And so I kind of have that anticipation. I personally know of some things that are coming. A lot of manufacturers kind of hold it close to the vest because they don't want it to leak out before
Yep.
the show, generally. But that's part of the surprise, right? That
Yeah.
you come there and you discover, like, ooh, that was really cool. I didn't know that they made that, or I've never heard of that brand before, or wow, Sony's got, again, they knocked it out of the park, or hey, Crestron's here, Legrand or Origin or Savant, ADI, Snap One, all the leading brands, Lutron. I mean, they're there and they're showing their latest and greatest, and that's energizing, right? I mean, I always leave the show feeling energized,
Yep.
and I feel proud. I mean, I feel proud of our industry, and I say our industry. I've been involved in doing AV shows for most of my trade show career, over 35 years, and it's an exciting industry, and it keeps evolving. And I chuckle back in the day when it was at Infocom we had overhead projectors, with an LCD panel,
Yep.
on it, in the early days of the projection shootout back in the 90s, and
Wow.
to what it is today. And the pace of technology evolution is amazing, right?
Mhm.
And I think what we're going to see and need to monitor closely is the influence of AI, kind of permeating in the products and the solutions. That's just going to continue to accelerate, and we're going to continue to talk about more of that.
Yeah.
In fact, the IMCCA booth on the show floor, David Maldo, Kevin Keeler, David Danto, the AI chefs. So they're going to
Yeah.
talk about AI and collaborative spaces, AV spaces. Um, and there's a lot of topics on AI, and a lot of it, just any topic's going to, you can't avoid it, right? You're going to
Right.
talk about it. But then, we still have the Destination Outdoors with Coastal Source and some of
Yep.
their partner brands outside. We have the opening party on Thursday night with the C Pro All Star Band, and I'll be there and offer you a free drink. So come on down Thursday night.
Sold.
And but the website has a lot of these
Yep.
details. You can still register. I would like to remind everyone to book a hotel room.
Yep.
They are
Need
going
one of those.
fast.
Yeah.
They have a lot of great hotels downtown
Yep.
in Denver, and they're all walking distance. We don't run
Yeah.
shuttle buses.
Yep.
It's just not practical because everything's within 4 or 6 blocks of the convention center.
Hmm.
So and the weather's going to be great. It's a beautiful city to walk, from your hotel over to the convention center, and then you got the Rocky Mountains right behind you. I mean, it's amazing. So I would encourage everybody, if you haven't been out to Denver, come on out, and we'll welcome you at the show, and it'll be a great week. And I know everybody will leave with something, right? I think there's so many different elements at the show that provide value, experience, knowledge, new connections, that it's absolutely must attend event every year.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to see you there
Heck yeah.
again this year.
And I'm starting to think that 3 days of an expo isn't long enough, which I know is not what you want to hear, right? We can't go any longer, but there's
that's the bittersweet part of
Right.
being a show organizer, right? Is
Yep.
you work all this long time to organize it. You get everybody there. You go from a bare concrete floor to this amazing collection of colorful and dynamic exhibits. And then, 3 short days and it's over and everybody tears everything down and you're looking at like, oh my gosh, what happened? And then it's just,
Yep.
it's an awesome memory,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that lives on. And, so as we get closer to the show, a couple weeks out, everybody should download the mobile app. They can
Yep.
look at the floor plan and see the schedule and
Absolutely.
make plans. Hey, I'm going to plan to see this one or go there and do this. And, it's just a great facility, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yep.
the registration, all the meeting rooms are below and the exhibits are above. And
Yep.
so it's easy to go up and down and across the street. So it's just a fabulous experience. Very
Yep.
excited about it. And
Yeah.
so come and discover. And,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll leave with a smile.
For sure. And if there's anything you take away from this, that piece of advice about pre-planning and mapping your experience out before you get there, take that. That should be your one takeaway, if anything, from this podcast. So I appreciate you saying that. I look forward to doing all of that planning. I know there's still more to do. But in the meantime, this was a great conversation. Got me excited. I know we're, again, still a few weeks out, but now I'm all jazzed up to get out there to Denver and experience this show. So Jason, appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you. And again, thank you for taking the time and sharing all this with us.
Thanks, Rob. I look forward to seeing everybody out there.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Residential Tech Talks podcast, please subscribe to us on the platform you're listening on. Also, be sure to follow Residential Tech Today on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Residential tech talk, lighting specialist, art residential tech.
Home automation, smart device, home or smart house.